In dairy farming, you have only two options. You either diversify or you specialize in one area. This is a continuation on the discussion we had about the cost of production. Have you watched that video? Did you grab anything? Leave a comment there as well as you subscribe. All about diversification and specializing in a dairy farm, it's with the aim to achieve a maximum productivity from that dairy farm. Depending on our assorted dairy dynamics, our financial might, you realize there are so many opportunities. For example, if you analyze the processes involved to produce a liter of milk, you'll appreciate there are areas that you can diversify depending on that surrounding challenges. For example, you have a big tract of land or access to a land that you can lease, and you have the financial might to produce fodder. You realize in a dairy farm, fodder production, it's an entity on its own. You can produce sufficient for your dairy farm, and the surplus you sell. You're still in the dairy value chain. Only that you have taken a different venture. In a dairy farm, milk production is an entity on its own. After that, there goes the milk marketing. There are those farmers who have access to different milk markets. For example, one, the dairy cooperatives like Mbogori Dairy Farm. Two, direct to consumer, the household, like a case we covered about the House of Hope Dairy Farm. Three, value addition of the same milk. Now here, probably you have an access to a market that consumes more milk than you produce. Instead of straining to produce that liters, you can maintain, maybe the market is 1,000 liters, but you're only producing 280 liters like Mbogori Dairy Farm from 12 cows. That means the difference of 720 liters you can outsource. But now instead of outsourcing randomly, your good dairy farming practices, you can extend hand to friends or to neighbors. In that, the milk you produce in your dairy farm, it's more or less the same quality produced from other farms. So you have extended hand to the neighbors and friends. At the same time, you have maintained your milk market and you haven't injured your strength, or you haven't struggled a lot to achieve that 1,000 liters. Now, your good practices on milk production extended to others, you have diversified, and at the same time you have tapped the market that you are getting premium rates. Thirdly, the breed you get from your own cows. Fertility is a very important thing. You can monetize that good fertility in your dairy farm. For example, at Mbogori Dairy Farm, the moment they will achieve their target, they'll have to sell. The farm, they have branded it very well. Their records are very well. Until that is a farmer who will say, I'm selling 10 cows, and the offers will be in tens of enquiries. People will be willing to get those genetics. That good fertility, that good practice of keeping record, that good practice of selecting good sire will yield more money to this farmer. Diversifying or specializing on dairy breeding. You can convert your dairy farm to a training center. That now gives you again more revenue to your dairy farm. Probably, and this is a case scenario we have seen in so many farms. Maybe you are selling your milk directly to consumer. Then you realize maybe the same households, they buy chicken. You can keep chicken and you have monthly sales. all you can have monthly sales or weekly sale. You are still with your dairy farm, but you are dispensing more products to the market. Maybe because your farm is well positioned, you can see another animal or another species of another animal species you can keep in your dairy farm. Within your dairy farm, it's always good to diversify or specialize, but don't be a jack of all trade. Just know your strength. Look at the weak links within that society. For example, here at Mbogori, the focus is on the genetics we'll get. Will we be able to achieve the heifers that will produce 40 liters by the time we hit the 4th generation? By that time, you can sell your cows at premium rates. Maybe at some point Mbogori will add value to their milk. Maybe at some point, based on the climatic conditions, the change on the climate, and the access to water for irrigation, Mbogori will decide to be growing double the maize field and sell excess to friends and neighbors. It's always good to think in the line of diversification or you specialize. Keep it Dairy Networks. Don't forget to leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe. See you next in the next video, where we highlight the Mbogori Dairy Farm Maize Field. Thank you. Be blessed.